Well, ladies and gentlemen, Wood Green Futures. Today I'm at the West Indian Cultural Center where they're having this great event today. And what is so interesting is it talks about transforming Windrush legacy for the 21st century. And it's so crucial, ladies and gentlemen, because there's such rich element of individuals, of persons who are out there doing great and fantastic things. And I catch up with a few. I caught up with a few today. Victor Richards. Victor Richards, listen, there's one-man play and there's one-man play. Well, you need to check out this one-man play with Victor Richards. Victor Richards is a Windrush actor, poet, storyteller. Sir Richards, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic.
I'm very good.
I heard a very inspiring poem that you're doing inside there, you know?
Ah, yes.
But the first question I'm going to ask you is, Windrush actor. What's the difference between an actor and a Windrush actor?
There is no difference whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
It's just that some people would consider me a specialist.
Yes.
When it comes to the Windrush stories.
Yes, yes.
It's something when I left drama college back in '96 in Nottingham.
Yes.
Nottingham Next Stage Drama College, and I made a conscious decision that this is what I wanted to do. Not mainstream, not EastEnders, not Casualty. I've tried,
Yes.
but it didn't suit me. You know, when the taste doesn't suit you, the palate doesn't suit you.
Yes.
And I always had this play, which I came out the first play, Streets Paved with Gold. It's a one-man play.
Yes.
And I kept it, and I built on it. Part 1, Part 2, Return to the Caribbean, True to First Generation. So for me, without going into too much detail,
Yes.
I just knew that it was important for me to keep my identity.
Yes. It's one of my favorite words. I love talking about that. But
Yes.
keep talking, sir. Identity.
And it was important for me to keep that identity, culture,
Yes.
connecting with my roots, with
Yes.
young people, older people, being able to take something around in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
This was long before the 50th anniversary, which was 1998.
98, yes.
And for me to have that complete package and establish myself as an individual Windrush actor and poet storyteller, workshop leader, which to me now I found out 25 years later, or nearly 23 years later, it is one of the best things I ever done, because nobody can see the Windrush scandal coming. I couldn't see it.
And that's a question I was going to say now. It is interesting that you say you're a Windrush actor and you have been doing this from before.
Yes.
Now, since the scandal, it has awakened the appetite for a lot of people to talk about Windrush.
Yes, Windrush is now a mainstream name. I can go anywhere in the world. I would go to Japan, I go to the Caribbean, I take my work to Gambia.
Yes.
And everywhere I go, people know, you just mention Windrush to them, and they know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
In the beginning, it was hard. Nobody really got it. People said, why are you doing something again? I mean, doesn't it get stale? But the fact is, audiences don't lie.
Yes.
You know, if they're not happy with you, they will tell you. But every year for nearly 25 years, my audiences have grown.
Yes.
They're diversified, experimenting with new projects, universities, colleges, learning difficulties. I've done a range of work.
Yes.
Because to be honest, the work was specifically designed to deal with the educational and the nostalgic.
Now tell me about the one-man play.
Yes.
Is that being, I don't know how I missed it, I mean, but is it going around or what now?
It is still form. I'll be here at the, I don't know, you could edit it later, but
Yes.
the Hackney,
No, that's okay.
The Hackney Town Hall on the 22nd.
291 Club? That's the 20th
Council.
Oh, right, the council.
Town Hall.
Right.
What
date is, what date?
That's the 22nd.
22nd of June.
June, yes.
Wow.
I'll be there. Well, I've got a number of performances around the country, but obviously people can go to my website, which is vjtheatre.net.
Yes.
And find out where I am and where I've been. So I suppose the reason why you haven't seen it, because I've always kept the performances low key.
Yes.
I've made sure they kept to. I was never really interested in going to the Empire. I'm just not that. Again, when you go through EastEnders, you go through Casualty and all these other well-known, to me, I identified very early that I was not mainstream.
Yes.
But I believed in my hearts that one day my work will become mainstream.
Well, can I tell you this? I always say to people all the while that we create the mainstream.
Yeah.
In a sense, because there's a narrative of what mainstream is: BBC, ITV, CNN.
Yes.
But then at the same time, we need to build our own mainstream, which I think is what you're already doing.
Yes.
But I understand the concept, the political concept.
There's been a lot of people who have done a lot of good work over the years in the community, and I stand on a lot of people's shoulders. Not to mention, I've had a lot of help and support over the years.
Yes.
And I shouldn't mention this.
Please.
Out of the play, Streets Paved with Gold, which is, did I explain? It's a character that comes from Barbados.
Yes.
I aged myself, 1948, and he's looking at his time of arrival, looking for a home, looking for work, sending for the family, and we track his life, the 60s, the 70s and 80s, and he explains the workplace, the friends, the people, the parties, the music, and people can see this wonderful character in a front room setting, which is a place you couldn't go in, and the stage is just alight with things that would bring back a lot of wonderful memories. The old telephones, the black and white photographs, the Jesus, the grips, all that sort of thing, the Nat King Cole and the Nina Simone, all of that. I bring that to life in the stage with this beautiful character and the wonderful wife's dresses and all that sort of thing. And I find that over the years, it's just helped to, as you say, establish a thing for myself, but also giving other people, young artists, an opportunity to think, well, what could they do? Because there's so many different ways you can tell the story, you see. And I think that if there's a key factor there, if anybody's listening, to be self-funded. I was self-funded. I didn't take any funding because it's very important for us to understand copyright, owning our own productivity, because so much of it's been taken away from us. We don't own a lot. And this was very important in my journey to make sure that I kept. So
therefore, separate and apart from your journey, you learned a lot of what should I say, practical things at the same time.
Yes.
You went in excited, still excited, of course, but you learned a lot along the way.
Passionate is the word I would use. I'm passionate. If you're not passionate about something, you're unlikely to succeed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he just said something which I always talk about, passion and passionate. People sometimes ask me, and how do you get to do all these things? I always say, passion. Passionate.
I can share with you, because it is public news now.
I'm getting my cue to wrap up, but keep going.
It was always a dream for me to turn the play into a film.
Yes.
And I have recently had confirmation from the British Film Institute, the BFI, and a well-known director, Solomon Garcia, a wonderful director. I've worked with him in various other music videos that he's done from my album Illusions, which is a lovely spoken word reggae track, and that is now going to be in the film, and it should be out this year, screening at the BFI, and we should move around the Phoenix and other smaller. And that's wonderful for me to obviously reconstruct it for film with characters, with people to play various roles, so it's not just me on my own. And it would be a 12 PG, because we're going to get somebody to play the granddaughter who comes around to help me to pack the clothes before I go back to Barbados. That's the whole point of Streets Paved with Gold. In that hour play, it's about him packing and telling his story the day before he goes back.
It's so interesting that I had 2 interviews earlier, and we talk about Streets Paved with Gold. I was asking, what is it about young people that like the streets? And the person said, the young guy, Terry Keys, he said, when people were invited from the Caribbean, they were told the roads and the streets paved with gold. And we're trying to work out the streets. So many people love the streets. I was like, called the streets is ways. It's showing you where to go. But
yeah. But it's also a catchy title.
Yeah.
Listen to the streets that was paved with gold. They said it's a story that people would remember the words streets paved with gold, just like Martin Luther King's speech.
I've got a dream.
Yeah, I've got a dream. So, so as an artistic director in my own right, all these things come into play. The books are available from Amazon, or you can come directly to myself. If you can get a hold of my contacts, that's wonderful.
I'll put the
it's a
details
lovely book, and the poem I did today is the first poem in this book, which is called Tribute to My Mother.
Yeah.
Tribute to My Mother, and it's a lovely poem.
And if you could give us 30 seconds of that poem, 30 seconds, is it possible?
Oh yes.
30 seconds.
The first poem in the book, Tribute to My Mother, who passed away a few years ago now, is called Streets Paved with Gold. She said, listen to the streets that was paved with gold. She said, it's a story that's never been told. She dreamt of the high, she touched the low. It's given her a passion for time. But within her heart she felt her soul in the streets that was paved with gold. The winters here, the faces there create the feeling of despair. But she still hopes and cares that society one day can cope. But on this soul she can taste the air of a mind that is breathing fear. And with all the rage that she felt then, there were closer ties never seen again. With longer nights and with more friends, she was lost in the remnants of time, where dominoes and playing cards read with sweet music. It was a time she thought would never end. Listen to the streets that was paved with gold. She said it's a story that's never been told.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing more I can say except that the streets are paved with gold.
Thank you.
Mr. Victor Richards, thank you so much. And I will be definitely sure that we come to your play. And of course, we keep the link, of course, definitely.
Sure. Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Mr. Victor Richards. Remember to follow him, check him out. And his website is vjtheatre.net, which is VJAY theatre, you must give us a spell that, .net. That's correct, yes?
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Pleasure.